Welcome to Talk About Topeka, coming to you live from the Topeka Performing Arts Center. This segment, we're speaking with Bill Wagnon from the Shawnee County Historical Society. It's our History Geek TV segment. I'm your host, Chris Schultz, and I want to thank Bill for being here. Thank you so much, Bill.
My pleasure.
You bet. It's a pleasure to have you here, absolutely. Now, you're with the Shawnee County Historical Society, but of course, everybody knows you. You're infamous around here, right?
Oh, goodness.
Famous, infamous, whatever we want to call it, right?
All right.
And you've been a history professor at Washburn for many years.
Yes.
I want to just take it back for just a second about as far as Topeka. Let's start at the beginning in your book. What are some of the most notable things that you'd want us to know about Topeka?
Chris, Topeka has a notable heritage.
Absolutely.
The stories of how it was founded and developed over time are truly remarkable in the sense that much happened here that had a profound influence on the development of the nation. Mm-hmm. And that is singular in the sense that we have that remarkable heritage. And the Shawnee County Historical Society is committed to making people aware of that heritage so they can identify with it. And we talk about opportunities for people identifying with the community. One of the ways they can do is to recognize this unusual heritage that is quite distinctive. We have, for instance, a situation where in the 1850s, Kansas was on the headline of the whole nation over the whole issue of whether slavery was going to expand or not in the new territory that had been created. And that gives rise to this issue of what kind of nation are we going to embrace by its definition of freedom. And that slavery or not is very important for the founding. You jump forward 100 years, and we go through a similar episode over school integration and desegregation with the Brown decision, and between those two landmark situations, the history of Topeka is really shaped, and it has an extensive influence on the nation.
Absolutely. And so I want to know from you, what bit you about history? What was the bug that bit you that got you to turn this into a profession and a career?
Well, history is identity, and history are the stories about how we came to be what we are and who we are now. And so in that sense, it's an opportunity to delve into the past and to see how activities in the past contribute to subsequent developments that are remarkable. And Topeka has that singular experience of the unfolding story of the enduring struggle of freedom that is central to American character and American identity that take place right here. So the profession of history to me has always been one that allows me to understand how things have come to be.
Mm-hmm. And what have you noticed as you've been an educator for so many years? Some of the moments as far as those aha moments where students may have clicked. What kind of things have you noticed over the years that have done that for them?
Well, it's the experience of digging into the record. Mm-hmm. When you think about education, education is really nothing more than human experience, and we've created all sorts of institutions over time that help us to accumulate those experiences. Now the internet is a great source of human experience that we can learn from. Well, when you dig into how that has taken place, then it gets exciting, and you can say, "Hey, I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that was the reason for it," and it takes on a new sense of understanding. So to that extent, when one delves into the past and examines the record and tries to understand it, and then tries to explain it to other people, there's an identity and a bonding that takes place there that is, I think, an important part of everybody's character and everybody's personality and their attitude toward life.
Absolutely. You know, they say those who don't remember the past are doomed to repeat it, right?
Well, I'm not sure that history repeats itself, but it does rhyme, as Mark Twain once said. And in that sense, you can see how situations at one time unfolded, and you know how that took place, and you can kind of compare what's today. I'm often asked, is there a time that I would prefer to have lived in? And my answer always is yes, right now, as opposed to any time in the past. Because what is remarkable about today as opposed to the past is that we know how it turned out in the past, but we don't know how it's going to turn out today. And that's what makes living today really exciting. But the knowledge of the past, I think, helps to inform how we understand today's situation and make choices that then have an influence on how we get from here to the next day.
Absolutely. Well, that's fantastic. And I know there's a great group of folks at the Shawnee County Historical Society. They got the great facility over there with the Ritchie Education Center.
Yes.
And of course, you can take a trip back through history and see the John Ritchie House.
Well, one of the things that we do at the Ritchie House is that we have tours and school programs, particularly, where we introduce youngsters, particularly to the experience of the 1850s and the whole issue of the Underground Railroad and that phase of American history where important decisions are being made. And they come away from that experience, Chris, with a new sense of themselves, really, because as one middle schooler once told me, when I asked them what they were getting out of this experience of coming over there, and they said, well, it's something important happened in my hometown. And indeed, it did.
Those are the things that plant the seeds that make it home.
And they can see themselves now in a different light because they are a part of it.
I always think when people, when children grow up and then they go off to college, it's okay to go away to school, but we want to make sure we planted the seeds that made what home is, so that they come back, they bring that knowledge. We just didn't spend all that time educating these children and then sending them off and making other places home. Like our history and remembering that and programs like the Ritchie House, those are the things that make people really proud of the home that they grew up in. Right?
And it's with them forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they know about it. Topeka has been oftentimes accused of being boring to young people. But when they find out about this rich history that we have, it ceases to be boring and it becomes exciting.
Absolutely. Well, that's my friend Bill Wagnon from the Shawnee County Historical Society. And of course, you should sign up to be a member of the society. They do great things. They send out a wonderful bulletin every month, or every quarterly, actually. And so check it out, ShawneeCountyHistory.org. You're going to get on there and see all the cool things that we've got on the website. Great stuff happening. And of course, we'd like to thank EverythingTopeka.com for sponsoring this segment. EverythingTopeka.com is home of the Topeka newsletter and maintains the most comprehensive list of ways to enjoy our community. Bill, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. And best of luck with everything you're doing at the Shawnee County Historical Society.
Thank you.